Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. SummerSlam weekend is in full effect. I was noticing on Twitter, like my buddy Victor flew last night to go to Chicago, where he's going to do Comic-Con before heading into New York for SummerSlam. My buddy, Instant Classic 8, he just pulled into New York City as I was in the gym today. So he's going to be having one hell of a weekend. So everybody's a buzz about the big NXT show. Everybody's a big buzz about SummerSlam coming up. But I noticed the other day, I put up a video with my prediction that Sting would be a part of SummerSlam 2015. Of course, it was rumored for a little while, I mean, well over a couple of weeks, that Sting was going to be involved in the Shield six-man match going up against the Wyatts. Was it going to make sense? Not really, but, it was a way to get a legend onto the show, and it was a way to make a big deal about SummerSlam. Of course, they're trying to give this a big WrestleMania feel. They're trying to make this seem like it's one of the biggest events of the year, and a legend like Sting being there is one of the biggest names that could wrestle, that's still in shape and not going to go out there and embarrass himself. But I was saying that basically Eric Rowan or Adam Rose or Bo Dallas, one of the rumored guys to be joining the Wyatts, somebody's going to come in making this an uneven match, 3-on-2, giving the Wyatts an advantage, and that's when Shield would sort of prevail by having Sting come down to the ring. What beef Sting would have with Bray Wyatt, not quite sure, but it could lead us to a six-man at Night of Champions, or maybe they could hold off and hold it off until they did the Hell in the Cell show in October, if they wanted to give a really big build to it, of building it up for 2 months, where Shield was helped out by Sting helping him out this one time, but he wasn't there the other times before finally they just say, fine, fuck it, let's just do the six-man match, and Sting would come down, and then Sting, Ambrose, and Reigns would reign supreme, and the new Shield would be standing up on top. But there's a lot of people out there that are commenting on the video or sending me things on Twitter basically saying that Sting is going to interfere during the Undertaker versus Lesnar match. I am not one to say that anybody's prediction is wrong. I don't see that happening. I mean, I come up with some wild, out-of-the-box things that I think would be great, and that's why I'm not a part of the writing committee. That's why I'm not a booker. That's why I'm just a guy sitting in his gym's parking lot holding his iPhone right now. I love wrestling. I love to talk about wrestling. I love to dream things up. But honestly, in my mind, I just don't see Sting interfering into that match. I am one to say that I would love to have Sting versus Undertaker at WrestleMania, and I think that's what you guys are planning towards, is trying to get this Undertaker versus Sting match off the ground. Basically, Taker came back, he got Brock's attention to get a match, so Sting sitting at home, Sting says what Taker did. He's wanted to have this match for years, so Sting's going to show up, screw Taker out of his match with Brock, and then all of a sudden we'll finally get to WrestleMania 32, Sting versus Undertaker. To me, honestly, that's a waste of too many WWE main events in a row. I mean, honestly, when it comes down to it, we were promised at Battleground it was going to be Brock versus Seth Rollins for the championship. And, the match never had a finish. I mean, when it comes down to it, WWE's ending to the pay-per-view basically was going to be that, we were going to be gung-ho for Taker versus Brock at SummerSlam. And honestly, when it came down to it, I think the finish was bigger than WWE thought it was going to be, especially with the brawl that would happen the next night on Monday Night Raw. I never really believed the rumors. I never thought that Taker was going to be a part of it, and there he is. I'm marking out, you're marking out, we're all going crazy. That leads us to SummerSlam, a show that they want us to believe is going to be as big as WrestleMania. So this can sort of continue on in future years where people will fly into New York City, Las Vegas, or Los Angeles, wherever next year's SummerSlam is going to be. And all of a sudden, we're going to get this SummerSlam main event. It's going to be Brock versus Taker. And all of a sudden, Sting's going to come in, screw this matchup. So that way we're looking for another match. To me, honestly, that's 2 pay-per-views in a row that are going to have no finish due to interference. And I do think that Sting versus Taker would be a big deal. I just don't think it's going to be happening this way for for Sting versus Taker. I don't even know if that match is ever really going to happen. But in my opinion, I think if Sting's going to do anything, he's going to be in that 6-man. But there's a lot of people out there thinking it. Sting's going to interfere in the Brock versus Taker match, which is going to lead to Sting versus Taker at WrestleMania 32.